I just finished reading Sliding Into Home by Kendra Wilkinson. And y'all, I went in with an open mind and I got a lot to say. So let's get into it.
I do want to give a little context that I am someone who grew up in the 90s. I'm someone who loved Playboy, still love Playboy to this day. I understand that other people's opinions are different and they may feel some different way, but I mean, we're all entitled to our opinions. So I'm not saying you're right or wrong, anything of that, but this is just, you know, in regards to the book and my opinion in regards towards things. So, as I said, buckle up, let's get into it. Did also read Holly's story, and I do really want to reread it, only like, you know, compare things and just kind of like fill in the pieces kind of. I also listened to the podcast, but anyway, that's besides the point because today we're talking about Kendra. So the book starts off with Kendra's childhood, and honestly, it was dark. Her dad wasn't really in her life. Her mom worked really long hours, and she just like gets caught up in the wrong crowd. So with her being caught up in the wrong crowd, I'm not going to necessarily say the D word, but we all know what that D word is. TikTok hates it. But we're going to call them party favors for the sake of this video. But anyway, she falls deep into them, even dealing at one point. I mean, homegirl was out here being a whole, like, freaking street pharmacist. Homegirl was meeting with plugs, crying when she didn't have the money. Like, shit got wild. Anyway, she got into some risky relationships, ran away a lot, had close calls with overdoses. Eventually, she quits the party favors and started becoming a midnight ballerina, making good money, exploring her sexuality, and living on the edge. So one day she does a car show and her pictures get plastered up online, like in a good way though. As is explained, Hef sees the pictures and he's like, I want her. I'm someone who watched The Girls Next Door growing up, and I'm probably going to have to go back and rewatch it, but I do want to say that that story was explained a little bit differently. Mind you, this is all when he invites her back to his place, you know, to be a Jello shot girl. So now at this part in the book, she's invited to the party. She's a Jello shot girl. She's body painted, all sexy decky. Anyway, this is still during the time when he has the 7 girlfriends. He asks her, like, hey, you want to be my girl? And she's like, okay. Explains that after the party night, she ends up going up to the mansion like weekly, every weekend type thing. And one of the nights that she went up there, I believe it was like her first time up there, she's staying in the bunny house, and she states that it was a formal event that was supposed to be going on and she didn't have the proper attire for it. She states that Bridget was very friendly and does help her, you know, get ready for the party in regards, but it's also very different in how she explains Holly and Bridget compared to what it is that we seen in this, like, you know, seen in the book or seen on the show, as well as what we all, like, you know, heard in the tabloids and everything else. So it's just a quite interesting take. So Kendra does talk about the freaky deaky stuff that transpires, and it does not sound glamorous. Her routine basically at that point ended up becoming eat, sleep, and repeat until she started, you know, working out and studying massage therapy. Then it came time for the girls next door. From her perspective, the girls were very hesitant, and that's something that I've heard from every party. When I'm saying from every party, I mean such as like a podcast and different stories, I guess, in regards towards the other girlfriends. But the show was happening with or without them, pretty much, and how they explained it. She also brings up a situation that happens with a girl named Audra, who was also on the show. She's someone who was around the mansion a lot. She wasn't a girlfriend, but anyway, Kendra states that if she sees her again, that she's gonna beat her ass. So there's lots of drama in regards towards that. So unfortunately, the book does not give so much of a deep dive into Playboy itself after that. It kind of shifts into her meeting Hank Basket. They clicked, keep it a secret since she was still at the mansion, and eventually she told Hef that she was leaving. Kendra now knows that she's going to be leaving the mansion, so she wants to start building her own foundation. So she starts, like, you know, reaching out to TV producers, and she's like, hey, I have this idea of a show, this, that, and the third, and she wants to conclude Hank. Everybody's like, no, we don't want that. We want the old party girl that we all grown to love. Kevin Barnes is the producer that produced For the Girls Next Door, and he ends up picking up Kendra's show. So her and Hank end up getting married at the Playboy Mansion. Had Hank Jr., and then life was all about moving for his football career. From LA to Philly to Indiana, the ending is more about her being okay as long as she had her family. So now this portion is just my take in regards. If I'm not your vibe, find your tribe. But anyway, growing up, as I mentioned, I loved the girls next door. I loved Kendra, like her as a whole. I really wish that this book would have elaborated more into, like, you know, the juicy stuff, the parties, the trips, the other things that, you know, went down at the mansion. We got those perspectives from Holly, but I would have loved to hear that perspective from Kendra herself. It was an interesting read, and it's interesting to see the growth that she's had from, you know, 2006 to the woman that she's become now, because, you know, homegirl's selling it. Not selling it, but she's a real estate agent. She's, you know, she's selling stuff. She's getting good. They're doing good. Or, you know what I mean. So, tell me, did you read Kendra's book or Holly's? And what's your thoughts in regards?
And now that I've given you my review of this book, what book should I spoil next?